When we conjure images of the most formidable dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, or T-Rex, inevitably dominates our thoughts. Its very name translates to King of the Lizards in Latin, underscoring its fearsome reputation. However, imagine a prehistoric world where dinosaurs roamed, some of which were even more fearsome than the T-Rex. Let's embark on a journey through time to discover 10 dinosaurs whose lethality rivaled, if not surpassed, that of the T-Rex. Number 10. Mapusaurus. During the Cretaceous period, a true behemoth roamed the Earth, reaching lengths of up to 40 feet and weighing as much as 3 tons. This dinosaur, equipped with a formidable hunting toolkit that included razor-sharp serrated teeth and a robust set of tail and legs, was a terror to the prey it pursued. Its hunting prowess was further amplified by its likely strategy of pack hunting, enabling it to tackle prey as enormous as the 100-ton Argentinosaurus. Considering a hypothetical encounter with the T-Rex, the Mapusaurus would have presented a significant challenge. Notably, Mapusaurus possessed longer and more functional forearms than the T-Rex, which could have been a critical advantage in close combat. Furthermore, its lighter frame and superior agility would have allowed it to maneuver more swiftly, potentially evading the T-Rex attacks while delivering precise counterstrikes. This combination of attributes suggests that Mapusaurus could have held a competitive edge in a direct confrontation with the T-Rex had they existed during the same era. Number 9. Triceratops. You might not have expected to find a type of herbivorous dinosaur in this list, but you'd be wrong. Both the Triceratops and the T-Rex lived during the Cretaceous period, and with an appetite of the size of the T-Rex, you can bet that these two dinosaurs crossed paths, but you shouldn't be so quick to dismiss the Triceratops as mere helpless prey. Triceratops adults grew to more than 30 feet long and weighed 6 to 12 tons, compared with 6 to 8 tons for an adult Rex. In addition to being heavier, Triceratops boasted 3 deadly horns, which it could use to fight off predators. Its method of combat was to charge its attacker with these horns front and center. In a T-Rex versus Triceratops standoff, all the Triceratops has to do is penetrate the T-Rex's skin with one of its horns, and it's game over. The wound would be fatal and leave the T-Rex severely injured, unable to hunt, and bleed out. Number 8. Majungasaurus. You might not be familiar with the Majungasaurus, but it's time for that to change. This dinosaur was compact and robust. Much like the T-Rex, it also sported those notoriously small forearms, an easily mocked feature that belies their true potential as predators. Despite their diminutive limbs, it's believed that the Majungasaurus employed its short snout in a deadly manner, clamping onto its prey and violently shaking them to death. The Majungasaurus was specially equipped for this brutal method of hunting, with strong, reinforced neck muscles, sturdy vertebrae, and tightly interlocking ribs, all of which enabled it to bite and maintain a death grip on its victims. Should it manage to secure a hold on an adversary, even one as formidable as the T-Rex, the Majungasaurus could deliver lethal wounds. While there's no direct evidence of a confrontation between Majungasaurus and T-Rex, largely due to their existing in different periods and locations, the characteristics of Majungasaurus suggest it would have been a formidable foe in such a hypothetical battle. Number 7. Albertosaurus. Whilst Albertosaurus might not be as well known as the T-Rex, it actually has many more surviving fossil specimens. An adult Albertosaurus could grow to around 30 feet and weigh about 2 tons, which essentially made it less than half the size of a T-Rex. However, don't let the stats fool you. Paleontologists know Albertosaurus as one of the fiercest killing machines of the late Cretaceous era. Its speed and agility compensate for its lack of sheer size. In fact, recent studies have shown that Albertosaurus was almost certainly a much faster runner than the T-Rex and would have hunted down its prey in high-speed chases designed to isolate the victim from its herd. When compared to these two dinosaurs, T-Rex's skull is much larger, measuring around 5 feet long. However, Whilst Albertosaurus had a smaller skull, this made for a stronger and shorter muzzle, which may have well provided this dinosaur with a much more powerful bite. Number 6. Allosaurus. This was a carnivorous species of dinosaur that lived during the late Jurassic period, as opposed to the Cretaceous period, which was dominated by the T-Rex. While Allosaurus and T-Rex were about the same height when fully grown, Allosaurus only weighed around 2 tons. As with some of the previous entries in this list, though, the lighter weight is arguably a positive attribute when it comes to speed and agility in particular in hunting down prey. For another thing, the genus of Tyrannosaurs who lived during the Jurassic era would have been much smaller than their descendants, making them much easier targets for roaming Allosaurus. Evidence, such as injuries found on fossil remains, has also shown that Allosaurus was an active predator of larger animals than itself. One such example is a fossilized Stegosaurus neck bone with an Allosaurus-shaped bite mark out of it. Gross, right? So, while T-Rex was known to have sometimes scavenged for food from the carcasses of already expired creatures, Allosaurus had no qualms about bringing down larger, living prey. Indeed, a recent article by ThoughtCo argues that Allosaurus may have been the most fearsome meat-eating dinosaur of Mesozoic North America. Number 5. Carnotaurus. Carnotaurus, translating to meat-eating bull, earns its name from a glance at any artistic depiction where its distinctive features are immediately apparent. The dinosaur boasted 2 pronounced horns on its skull and was endowed with elongated, muscular legs, positioning it as one of the swiftest predators in its weight category, tipping the scales at around 2 tons. Studies of the Carnotaurus horns suggest they were not just for show, but were indeed functional in combat. However, its skull structure indicates it was not adapted to withstand the impact of rapid, forceful collisions. Instead, the Carnotaurus likely utilized its horns for delivering slower, more deliberate pushes against its adversaries, a technique potent enough to engage in intense confrontations. Fans of Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom might recall a scene where a T-Rex clashes with a Carnotaurus. While the film offers one perspective on such a duel, the actual dynamics of a fight between these 2 prehistoric giants could be more complex. Given the Carnotaurus' unique combination of horned assault and its capacity for high-speed charges, the outcome of a real-life encounter could have been far from predictable. Number 4. Giganotosaurus. Both Giganotosaurus and T-Rex lived in the Cretaceous period, but at totally different times, with the former preceding T-Rex by 30 million years. This is unfortunate, because a showdown between these 2 dinosaurs would have been truly epic in scale. When you think of huge, terrifying, carnivorous dinosaurs, Giganotosaurus certainly fits. In fact, this dinosaur wins first place as the largest meat-eating dinosaur of Cretaceous South America, but let's take a look at the stats behind the title for a second. Giganotosaurus outweighed the T-Rex, with fully grown adults weighing around 10 tons. Despite this heavier weight, though, Giganotosaurus was capable of running at speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. Compared to the T-Rex relatively paltry 10 miles per hour, there's also strong evidence that Giganotosaurus is hunted in packs, or at least groups of 2 to 3 adults, to hunt down giant Argentinosaurus as their ongoing food source. Either way, it seems clear that a Giganotosaurus would have been more than capable of giving a T-Rex a run for its money. Number 3. Carcharodontosaurus. Named in homage to the fearsome great white shark for its formidable dental arsenal, the Carcharodontosaurus roamed the earth during the mid-Cretaceous period. This colossal predator could reach lengths of up to 30 feet and weigh in at approximately 5 tons. Similar to the Giganotosaurus, the Carcharodontosaurus boasted powerful legs that allowed it to outrun the T-Rex, reaching speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. The Carcharodontosaurus was equipped with a jaw filled with 6-inch-long serrated teeth, making it clear why some paleontologists have dubbed this dinosaur Africa's counterpart to the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Its teeth functioned akin to switchblades, effortlessly slicing through flesh and capable of inflicting deep, potentially fatal wounds on its adversaries. Given these lethal attributes, it might be considered a stroke of luck for the T-Rex that it never shared the planet with the Carcharodontosaurus. Number 2. Siats Meekerorum. This type of carnivorous dinosaur lived in modern North America during the late Cretaceous period. Adults grew up to 40 feet and weighed around 7 tons. Siats was a colossal predator and came second only to the T-Rex itself in terms of size from fossils found in North America. This species of dinosaur was actually a member of the same family as the Carcharodontosaurus during a period of time when that dinosaur was the top predator of the age. Still, this dinosaur would have been a formidable opponent against the T-Rex of its era, since studies had shown that types of Tyrannosauruses that lived around this time would have been much smaller than we're used to seeing in pop culture, and they would have been kept in check by much larger predatory dinosaurs, such as the sea ants. Fossil evidence from the Cedar Mountain Formation exists, which shows the huge size difference between the two, to the extent that tyrannosaurs wouldn't have even tried to compete for the apex predator role. It was only the later generations of tyrannosaurs who would have been more than a mere nuisance to the sea ants and able to put up a fair fight. Before we get to number 1 on our list, here are a few special mentions. While not as giant in size, oviraptors were certainly lethal to T-Rex, as they like to chow down on tyrannosaur eggs stolen from the nest. Other fearsome enemies were Dakotaraptors, which grew up to 18 feet long and were equipped with a sickle-like claw, which evidence has shown made them large enough to compete for food sources with and even kill juvenile T-Rex. Next up, Trudon, which were around 3 feet tall and probably had an omnivorous diet, but as this image shows, that didn't stop them from taking a bite out of larger predators, such as the T-Rex if the opportunity arose. A gaping wound could be lethal for a large dinosaur, even if the agitator was more of a parasite than a genuine competitor. Number 1. Spinosaurus. Laying down the facts, the Spinosaurus holds the title as the largest predatory dinosaur that ever lived. Outshining the T-Rex, this formidable creature tipped the scales at around 10 tons and stretched up to 50 feet in length, with some estimates extending its length to 60 feet. Adorned with a 2-meter-high sail on its back, the Spinosaurus boasted a lengthy neck, powerful jaws, and robust, clawed forearms designed for combat. Its semi-aquatic nature allowed it to dominate both land and water as hunting grounds. While the Spinosaurus and T-Rex did not exist during the same era or on the same continent, popular culture has toyed with the idea of their confrontation. Jurassic Park 3 notably pitted these two giants against each other, with the Spinosaurus emerging as the victor. This outcome isn't surprising, considering the Spinosaurus' size advantage and its more functional forearms, capable of tearing prey apart and grasping it firmly, unlike the T-Rex much-mocked smaller limbs. Renowned paleontologist Paul Sereno, who has watched the movie, concurs that the Spinosaurus would likely have triumphed, especially in an aquatic setting. This seems like a solid conclusion, though the prospect of an on-screen rematch would certainly thrill fans. While we await the day science might bring these ancient beasts back to life for the ultimate showdown, it's interesting to speculate about other dinosaurs' chances against the T-Rex. Do you think any dinosaur could definitively best a T-Rex? Or perhaps you have a different take on the Spinosaurus versus T-Rex debate? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for tuning in.